You still not on? Okay. Let me go in and share it. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna go in and okay. Trying to get this to come back up. Mm. So we got three on there. Hello, 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 everybody. How was it? Hi, Thurman. How are you?
Sorry for that, everybody. We were having some difficulties.
You still are.
I know. And we do this broadcast every week. And he had no
But
problem.
remember the gentleman was just telling us about that we probably need to call Verizon to have them come back because when we first moved here, that the line maybe is old, the wire. We live in the boonies. Well, it's the boon. We live in the back road where there's farmland, and our signal goes in all the time, in and out.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to buy an extra router tomorrow.
We're gonna fix it
tomorrow.
The Freemans, Dr. Mike and Aditi is going to reschedule with us.
Hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week.
But
we want to make sure the quality is top notch. It's the airways. So we want to make sure the quality is top notch, and we wanted to come back on and let all of you know we just didn't dive out on you, but we're working on things that we can do. Everyone is having
so
trouble.
Disappointed, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, I was
that
hot.
Means, I know.
I was hot.
He was running around.
I was just
I was just
hot.
screaming.
I ain't gonna even try to even fake it. I was hot.
I know we needed a word, but we're gonna have to hold out for one more week.
Yes, y'all.
Hopefully it's 1 week.
Yeah.
With the holdout, and Dr. Mike and Dr. Didi
will fix
said
the
that they're gonna be back.
Issues.
They're gonna be back. They want to speak with us.
Yes.
All of us. They want to make sure that we get our questions answered. And this actually gives those of you who did not email your question an opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So your question can be answered because we only could choose a certain amount of questions. So I'm just going to add your question to the list, and I can send it to them in advance, and then they'll have your question. So this is we're disappointed, but things happen. We're going to buy a new router tomorrow.
We will adjust.
And we're on all the time. I was just on last night. I
know. So that's the devil.
It's the devil, as Pastor Harry would say. The devil don't like you. He said, "Let's pray right now."
But I tell you what, there's going to be an anticipation and a interest coming our way as we come back.
Waiting in anticipation and just
man, it's going to be better than ever.
They were looking so beautiful, and handsome as they always are, and we were excited.
I know. So we just wanted to let all of you know.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions now. What's up, family? Rick, you're late. It started at 7. It's 7:28.
Yeah.
Pretty Ricky.
We've had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, Rick. So you just missed that part.
So we're going to get the rescheduled date and get it right back to
Absolutely.
everybody.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to do it again.
So if those are you, some people right now, we should pray because some people right now, perhaps came on to hear a word.
Yes.
And they're disappointed. And they're, they don't know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a question that's important to you, that's on your heart, and it's private, you can always text me. I'm going to give you my phone number, 302-363-3681.
It's all good, Rick.
No, it's not. It's not, Rick. I'm just kidding. You were at work. And you perhaps may have a question right now. Something may be on your heart. Because we're going to be talking about removing the mask from your relationship. Mm-hmm. And just the last week, I think it was last week, it might have been, last week, Dr. Tim had told me something that I'd never told me before. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. We were talking about death. And he was saying that maybe we all need to go to counseling. Because although everybody knows that my sister passed 2 years ago, you are echoing. Okay, thank you, Thurman. I don't know. We need 5. Our house is pretty big, but we might need a more powerful router, because I remember, even because we have 2 air conditioner units, and we couldn't figure out why the bill was $1,000, because they put a small air conditioner unit in when we needed 2 big ones. So that we fixed that. So sorry for the echoing, but we have to remove the mask. We have to talk about things that are uncomfortable. Now, I've been with him for 20. Let's see, Gabby's 24, been married 25, so 27 years, and he never said maybe I should go to talk to someone about my father. His father passed when you were 18, right? 19? You said you were a freshman in college.
18?
Yeah. So, we all have some things that we need to remove the mask and uncover. Some of us are dealing with, in relationships now that are uncomfortable. We're contemplating leaving, staying. Some of us are just not happy for many reasons. So we're here for you. We want to pray for you. I know we're all disappointed, but they're going to be back, and they're going to be on fire like they always are.
Yeah.
We, like Dr. Tim just said, we're in anticipation and expectation that what they have for us, and them just seeing us and seeing everyone that was on the show, that they're going to be even more excited to come back on and drop a serious word.
Yes.
You came in the right time. Lesson. Hi, how are you? So if you have any questions, or you have any prayer requests, something that's on your heart,
we'll take them.
Yeah, we're here for you.
We'll take them.
Again, we apologize, but we want to make sure that the quality of work that we do, or the quality, the standards is kept at a certain level. So we want to make sure that we release that. We don't want to release, and that irritates me. Even he likes to watch movies that speak in different languages. I can't handle that.
Just read the English words.
By the time I read it, the next scene is up.
Listen to different language.
Oh, yes, you do. And he reads it. He goes, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then, years ago, before he got saved, he would watch these bootleg movies. And I'm like, why are these people walking in and out of this? Why is it I can't hear? I said, I can't do it. So, that's how we felt when we kept going in and out. And the Freemans agreed, and they said that, let's reschedule to make sure that people that we all can hear what we need to hear.
Yeah,
it's going to bless us.
Absolutely. So
if you don't have any questions, anybody have any questions? Hi, Lisa. Lisa's back. I know. Hi, Carmela. How are you? We're so sorry. We had technical difficulty.
And I was just.
He was just on it. Well, I was on last night with the guests. I was on last night.
And y'all know we're on every week. We don't have that. I mean, we have glitches like anybody else does. But for the most part, we're on every week.
It's the devil, as Pastor Harris said. The devil doesn't like the relationship doctors. He wants to shut us down.
He ain't going to be able to do that. No. But I tell you, and y'all know that because most of y'all watch our broadcast. We are on every week.
It's something in the spirit. I can sense it in my spirit, in my heart. I can sense it, that something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I can sense it. And although I'm very disappointed.
We're going to fight through this, because this is
going to be a word.
This is, you notice that whenever you're about to have breakthrough, the resistance can be so tremendous. There's resistance comes when you're about to have breakthrough. I mean, right at the apex of resistance, there is victory. And I believe that this is what's going to happen. We're going to see something marvelous when we get together next time at the rescheduled date.
Yes. And we have some questions. So if you have questions that you want to be answered right now, you can type them in, or you can email them at ladymo@hgmde.org, or you can text me if it's private, 302-363-3681. I see a question. Is that a question?
Yes, it is.
How do you, we got questions coming in. How do you keep it fresh after being together for years and still being full-time ministry? You asking us that? Oh, hey.
How do you keep it fresh?
You answer that question, I'll answer it as well. Because I think we keep it fresh differently. We have our own techniques. I think we do great communication. we stay on the schedule. My mother-in-law told me, because when I was having baby after baby after baby, and I was always tired, but he was on the road a lot, so it gave me time to rest. And then when he would come home, and it could be a holiday, and it could be just he'll be home for a month, and it's like he's wearing me out. And she told me that you just have to be ready.
Mhm.
She says you adjust your body. This is sex now.
Oh,
You
that's
adjust
great.
your
You
body.
talking about sex.
Yeah, you adjust your body to his. So when he's
What
ready,
that have
you're
to
ready.
do with what she had to do?
She says keep it fresh. I'm going to get to that part. That was just one component. Oh, just one component.
My Lord.
That's what people really want to know.
God.
But it can be a challenge in full-time ministry and raising your children, ministering to God's people, you having your own personal time. So, for instance, I think he does a better. Well, his job is different than mine.
I think you have to be flexible. To keep it fresh, you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to
do it anywhere, anytime.
Well, I wasn't even talking about sex. You go about sex again.
Just saying.
Lady Mo's got sex on the mind. No, I think that's a good question, Tadisha. It is. I think you have to be flexible, and you have to be willing to change, because as you get older, your desires change, and you have to be so sensitive you can pick up a shift. And you got to be willing to do different things. You can't get so stuck in the coming home. Don't let the routine bore you. If the routine begins to bore you, you have to change your routine. You need to change the routine.
Not change your mate, change your routine.
Change, that's good. That's good. Don't change your mate, change the routine. That's how you keep it fresh.
And you have to always communicate. You have to communicate. We have certain days and certain times that we maybe go out to breakfast or go out to lunch, or just take a ride in the car, pray together, study together, hear him teach to me, things like that. So it's a balance. And even with the children, sometimes my kids have to say to me, Mom, you've been putting me off for 2 days. I need you to answer these questions. So, you just have to have balance, and you have to be flexible. And that's what you said, right? Flexible. And you have to know that you won't be in that season forever. There's a season each 10 years, I'm thinking, in your life, things change. You could be your early 30s, and you could be working, really hard, long hours, pay for tuition, things like that. Your 40s. So different seasons in your life, things change. So you have to be able to change with the seasons, but you cannot ignore one another. That's why we've been talking about the COVID-19 being the best thing, I think, because what it did is brought the family back together. Now we have to eat together because we can't leave. The restaurants were closed. So that means we're going to sit down and eat dinner together or breakfast. We're going to play games. We're going to talk more. We're going to communicate more. Same thing as talking. But it really tests the relationship because you have to spend time with each other. You have to watching more movies. You have to be more flexible. You have to now compromise more. So because you're around each other more. So the COVID really it's a good test for how strong your relationship really is. And I like to do things differently. So I'm very spontaneous. So I like to do things different. And he likes to be surprised. So I know that he likes surprises. So I try to surprise him with all different types of things, just little things.
Yeah. Listen, we got another question.
Yes, go ahead.
I became intentional, I believe, about what I want in a future husband, and I've met someone who is everything I prayed for. Wow. Okay. Praise the Lord for that. And now I'm so nervous because I'm not as healed from the past as I thought. Ooh, that's real talk.
Are you in counseling?
And how do I accept? Let me finish the question.
Oh,
how do I accept? Okay. How do I accept the love? How do I accept the love this wonderful man desires to give me and leave the inner mess behind? Wow.
Young woman just said, Dana, she says some things all the time, but this was so profound. She said, many of you go ahead and talk. I'm going to find exactly what she said. Keep going. It was really good.
I think it's interesting that you noticed that you were not healed. You got to get healed. You really do. I would take it slower.
Here it is. I think first of all, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I would take it slower because if you're noticing that you haven't been healed from those wounds have to be addressed. You've
Mhm.
got to confront them, and maybe you, as Mo was saying, get some counseling just to talk
Just for
through it,
yourself.
just to talk through it,
Yes.
just to talk through it
Talking through it really helps you.
tremendously.
Yes.
You know, the word says, confess your sins to one another. And that word confess, when you, and then that's not you like you're confessing your sins, but the principle behind that is sharing,
Mhm.
sharing your thoughts and your
Mhm.
how you're feeling, and
Mhm.
with somebody that's qualified to help you
Mhm.
with that area. And so it's great that you met the person, but I would be careful, not necessarily for him, but for you. So take it a little slower.
Well, I think
Take it a little
if you
slower.
get that consistent counseling, you set it up immediately. I was sexually violated as a child, so I didn't get counseling until later on in life, and I started talking about it more and how wonderful it was just to get it out, just to talk about it and share my feelings and my thoughts and how it made, the different seasons, and I didn't realize that I was really hurt or it just damaged me. I didn't know. So the counseling piece will be so critical for you,
Mhm.
and it'll be just you'll walk out thinking, "Wow, I should have talked a long time ago." But this young lady said something was really awesome. Some of you are depressed now because you tried to praise your way through stuff you should have gotten counseling for. I'm gonna read it again.
Mm.
Some of you are depressed now because you tried to praise your way through stuff you should have gotten counseling for. We have to get counseling. My daughter even asked me to go counseling. I was like, what are you going to counseling for? She said, Mom, I just need to talk to somebody else besides you. Okay, fine, okay. Because sometimes we just need to talk.
Yeah.
We need someone to just listen and not judge.
Talking is therapeutic.
And to not judge.
It's therapeutic. It helps you release. And I
Yes,
think
it will.
I think a lot of times we shun for a long time. Our culture has shunned counseling. It's not crazy to get counseling.
Hmm.
Oh, you're a crazy person. You went and got counseling. Something wrong with you. No. Everybody, you can embrace that and embrace that. So we recommend
You're
you that.
welcome. You're
I'm so
welcome.
glad that you found
I
the man of your
know.
dreams.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Treasure every moment.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Mhm.
If this is the man of your dreams and he is making things happen
Mhm.
for you, it makes you feel a certain way that perhaps you see in the movies or what you've heard about.
Mhm.
Enjoy it because that time goes by so fast. And then you're married and then things, transpire. You have different things in your life. Just enjoy the time together, just you two.
Trust.
Yes, and trust the
Trust
Holy Spirit.
Trust is built over time.
Yeah.
So, allow the relationship to grow in the area of trust.
We had a
You
great
know.
dating life.
Yeah, go ahead and trust.
We had a
That's
great
good.
time.
Thank you for the question.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you,
wonderful. He's
Tadisha,
amazing.
and blessed abundantly. Yes. Thank you for the
And
question.
make sure you get premarital counseling. That is number
Yes.
one on the list.
Yes,
Make sure you
indeed.
get premarital counseling. I don't care how wonderful he is or she is,
Mhm.
you still need to get counseling. Why? Because counseling will, somebody's putting in some counseling triggers or cathedral release. Okay. Um, so it's,
Lethargic release.
yes.
Okay.
So it's important for you to do that because some things may come up in counseling that the other person may feel comfortable talking about because someone else is there.
And I think it's a red flag if a person says, I don't want any counseling or marital
Is it a
coach.
red flag?
It's a red flag.
So I should not marry you?
Well, I capitulated.
Oh.
So I caved.
He said he was not doing that.
I didn't think
I was confused.
I think it's a red flag because we've seen people over the years rejected, and those same individuals came back to us with problems,
Mm-hmm.
and you see why, because when you think think you know everything, you can't learn nothing new.
And counseling prepares you to handle certain situations and circumstances that may occur during the relationship that you haven't discussed. So if you know that this individual has been hurt, this individual has a tendency to do this, say this, when these things happen, if you don't address it, then you won't know and you'll think something is wrong with them and they're just reaching out for help. But if you know how to handle them because you are aware, it makes a big difference.
Mhm.
Big
I think
difference.
there's a statistic, you know, in one of our books that we've read and used as a guide. The statistics was successful marriages. You know, a lot of marriages will succeed that have more than 6 coaching sessions,
Mhm.
you know, more than 6 counseling sessions.
Mhm.
We have 10 sessions, don't we?
10.
We have 10. And so when you start meeting with somebody and you do 1 or 2, it's not enough ultimately, because there's different, it's different things that I don't believe it may be
Oh,
a
well,
red
you're wrong,
flag. I
honey.
believe it's more of a cultural
Yeah,
thing.
you know what? It is a cultural thing,
Yeah.
but it's still a red flag.
It is, it's both.
It's exactly. It's
It's
a red
both.
flag,
I
but
agree
it's
with
still a
you.
cultural thing.
It is a
Because
red flag.
the cultural thing, you're correct, because he didn't grow up that way,
Right.
but he knew enough. He knew enough to say, although that's not what my culture does, that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I
I
said.
didn't know.
That's what I said. You didn't know.
Okay.
You didn't. Your culture. You didn't do that in your culture.
Right.
Your culture.
And you're right, Tadisha. It is a cultural thing, but through my experience over the years, I say when someone says they don't need counseling, that's a red flag for me.
Mhm.
That's a red flag for me. And I'm speaking from years of experience.
That's right.
I'm speaking from years of experience of counseling people.
You speaking, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Life is life.
You
Marriage. Exactly. That doesn't mean anything.
You can talk about
Mhm.
you can see
Mhm.
Jesus on the backside of the desert all you want,
That's
man.
right. And
Yeah.
there's no circumstances is not common in a
Yeah.
relationship. We all experience some of the same,
Yeah.
things, not all.
Yeah. And normally, you know, it's a sign of a lack of
Pride.
humility.
Yeah, that's what I said. Pride.
See, it's a sign of a lack of humility.
Well, feel something's wrong with him. No.
Yeah.
Well, he could, but that's not the reason why you go to
Yeah.
counseling. You go to
Yeah.
counseling to learn more about one another.
Yeah.
You learn how to
Yes.
live with one another. You
Mhm.
learn how the other person has been raised
Mhm.
and how you're going to create your own culture.
Yeah.
Because it's two cultures coming together as
Culture
one,
clash, absolutely.
and there's going to be a clash. And you have to decide,
It's
how
just
are we
a
going to
matter-
live?
It's just a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
Matter of time. I think that when we went through marital counseling, the
He left there saying,
the counseling sessions actually predicted the issues that were going to come up later,
he told us.
and they came up. But because we had went through counseling, we had an understanding. Okay, this is how we should approach it. You know.
He actually said, Dr. Trusty, he actually said, you hear that, Tim, or do you hear that, Monique? This is something that you're going to need to work through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when this happens during the relationship, this is how you should respond.
Shay says definitely a red flag. I'm with you.
I like the flag.
I've been at this a little while. I really don't care what nobody think about it. It is a red flag when somebody says, I don't need nothing.
And it's not saying that they won't get divorced, because we don't believe in divorce.
Yeah.
But
I've seen it.
It helps. It helped us.
It doesn't stop the struggle.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say. It
just
doesn't
teaches
mean
you
that.
how to handle
It just teaches you how to handle it, and you're gonna find yourself back into this thing. And so, you know,
but one thing I wanted to add to that, I counseling really it allows the other person to share their heart without making the other person feel uncomfortable because they're saying it in front of someone else that can actually help protect them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you said, well, he or she seems a little offended, or they don't like the way I talk, or whatever it is, then you have a mediator to help you explain how you feel,
right,
to make them feel comfortable. And then the mediator can talk to the other person and say, this is what they're saying, and this is how you should handle it. It helps and leads and guides you through the process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful thing. And I'm speaking in Tadisha, I'm speaking from a guy who didn't want to do it.
You didn't see any value in it.
I did not want to do it. When she told me it was a prerequisite, I kind of like resisted at first.
But you know what Tanisha just said is how you felt.
Yeah.
You probably thought that I thought something was wrong, which I did was wrong because I told you. At least you knew.
I didn't think.
See, I told him some
No,
things.
I didn't
You
think.
didn't think that?
I didn't think that.
Really?
No, I didn't think that. I already knew. You had already
I already
told
told
me.
him,
You already
so-
told me the same things you were concerned about.
You think I didn't want everybody? You didn't
No,
want
no, that wasn't
the
my
doctor to know?
that wasn't my thinking. My
Oh.
thinking was, I don't need it.
So
my thinking, I had no cultural reference to it.
mhm.
So to me, it was like, I don't need that.
So help the
know.
other men that are out there that had the same feeling that I don't need it,
Yeah.
but we're saying it's probably pride and not humility, and you don't think that you need it, although I told you there were some challenges, some things that I was uncomfortable with. So help the men out there and help me understand
I wasn't
why
thinking about nothing you were saying. I heard
you weren't
you.
thinking about me. What I said?
No, I just was like, we're gonna work through it. I felt like
That
we're
wasn't
gonna,
good enough for me.
I know, but for you, but I
Mhm.
never thought that I needed it.
So you didn't believe what I was saying?
No, that's
You didn't
not
believe
it.
that what I was thinking
I
was
believe-
legitimate?
I believe what you were saying was legitimate.
You thought
I
it was going to change
I just
osmosis?
didn't need counseling.
Wow.
We need counseling.
But see, but don't you think,
And I think
this is a great discussion, but don't you think if,
I think your father helped me
oh yeah,
because he kind of instilled, he kind of insisted, but he was promoting it. No, this is what you need to do. And see, I respected him.
I called my father and told him it's not going to work there.
I respected your dad.
I'll talk to him.
I
talk.
I respected your dad,
Okay,
and so I took his counsel because I respected him.
Mhm.
I respected him so much that even though I didn't see a value in it, I did it because he said it was the right thing to do. And sometimes that's why we need mentors.
Yeah, but counseling is really, really
I wouldn't have
good.
changed, man. I couldn't wait.
I felt comfortable talking about the things that
I
I was
couldn't.
uncomfortable talking to
After
you
the
about.
first couple
telling him.
sessions, I could not
We're
wait.
doing our
I
homework.
was like, let's go back. Come on, Pastor Trustee was just ready to go, and he
It was
was
excellent.
well. He was certified. He was a
Mhm.
certified
Mhm.
life coach, not life coach, but
That's
counselor.
what they call them now.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was really great.
Yeah.
It was really, really great.
Yeah,
It helped me say things that I was uncomfortable telling you about because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, that I was able to say in front of him, and I felt protected. And he would say, do you hear what she's saying, Tim? Do you agree with that? Or so it helped both of us.
Yeah, we went at it. It was good.
Ooh, it was hiding something. Well, thank everybody. We
We
just want to
thank
come
y'all.
on and let you know that we're going to reschedule.
We apologize for the technical issues, but we will correct it. And it's working now fine.
Well,
That's why I
that's
say the
because-
devil is a liar. It's just
It was
something.
working though until we connected it.
It's
See, it's still
connected with-
working, yeah. It's-
connected with them.
Yeah, meaning that somebody else's line.
Yeah, I don't know, but
But thank you all so much, and we will. If you have questions, please send it to ladymo@hgmde.org, ladymo@hgmde.org, and we'll make sure that the doctors answer your questions. And we so apologize, but have a fantastic night. I have to go and put coats, blankets in the car to get ready for tomorrow. We're excited. Take care. We love you.
See ya.